Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.
This is UMAR for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. It's Charlie Edwards Fight Week. I'm joined by Sonny Edwards. Talk about Jan in a second, but yeah, Sonny, you've boxed in lockdown against Thomas Asomba. Just looking back at the performance, how do you assess it?
I think I might have been a bit harsh on myself on the night. You know, straight after, I feel like it was not the most eventful fight. I feel like to make it the easiest possible chance of winning and securing the win, which was, let's face it, the most important thing. You know, I had to make it kind of like a slower pace and box at range because, like everyone that knows boxing knows that Asomba is real life dangerous. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was happy with it, especially watching it back. I think it looked good. It looked very clear. Whoever the judge that gave 4 rounds, I still can't find them 4 rounds. Like I couldn't do it. I gave him 2 watching it back. Yeah, I mean, on the most part, very happy with it. Good to get out, you know, boxing again. You know, being productive, earning again. And now Charlie's here 2 weeks later, so yeah, it is what it was, and I'm just looking forward for the next step, to be honest.
Yeah, just you come back from holiday, didn't you, for Turkey?
Yeah, I had a little 4 days away just to get away just before this. Because I've heard whispers Frank's looking to get me out in December. Big fight, so you know, I need to get back on it. So I thought I'd have a little 4 days away as soon as I could, which I booked it and went within, I think, 15 hours or something. Yeah, I'm back. I got back Tuesday. I'll just see this week off, just keep my food nice and alright, and then hit camp properly. I've been training before I went away, but hit camp properly on Monday.
World title fight in December then?
I mean, I would love for them to pull it off. I mean, I know that's what Frank wants. You know, he's made no secret in that. He told me at the beginning of the year that he's going to get me a world title fight this year. And I just don't think he thought lockdown was going to come and spoil them plans. But if he does it, then fair enough. But if it's not that, then no, I just want to get back out there, get busy, keep improving, progressing, work on things that I need to work on, because there's still a lot there. You know, I mean, to be a complete fighter, I can't just, well, I can, I suppose, but I can't really just keep, 12 rounds, stay outside distance, because that's not always going to work. There's going to be times when that's not going to work. Do you know what I mean? I feel like for some reason most boxing fights you go into, that seems to work well enough, But, there's still a lot I need to work on and take risks when I need to take them. But we've got a good team behind me, and I trust and I listen to them. I mean, I don't know if it picked up on the recording, but after the 6th, 7th round, I was, sort of pleading with Grant, let me have a go at him, let me sit with him a little bit more, because I'd felt his punches, and I felt quite comfortable in there, even in the pocket. Like sometimes I did sit there, I didn't look out my depth, etc. I was just boxing on instruction. I feel like I would have got bollocking after the fight a lot more if I didn't. But yeah, there's a lot to work on, and I feel like I'm in a great place now. If I'm honest, I mean, you never know you're ready for world level until you face world level, no matter how good you've been performing, etc. But I feel like I'm there, I mean, I've been consistent with it. All my fights have been, unanimous. I've not had no split decisions or close ones. I've just sneaked or irked through, and I've had some good step ups. If you actually take time to have a look at who I fought, who they fought, etc. There's been some decent little names on my record. Maybe that people like Asomba don't get the credit that they should deserve as a 2-time Olympian. He's got some great wins on his record as well, and he's been up against it pretty much every time he's gone in the ring. Like he's the away fighter, and he's got his record 10-5. He's got some good wins on there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, great. Lockdown fight. I mean, I know the show did well as well. With the little viewing figures that spiraled out after. That was nice to see. I know the talking point was mainly my hairstyle, but don't worry, it won't be there. It won't be there next time. There'll be something much worse.
Not the worst thing for Lad Bible, Sport Bible, etc. These pages to be talking about, even if it was about your hair.
Do you know what? Like, I genuinely didn't think that for a second that would like, you know what I mean? I thought it'd be that's it. I didn't think it would like people actually making that the talking point.
Did I'm Just Mate pick it up as well?
I'm not. I don't follow them. You know, I'm bougie with my followers when I'm on private. All the banter pages that I follow, they follow me back now. I think I've got to that level of Instagram clout. But no, in all seriousness, I don't know, to be honest. I know a few did because I was getting sent them, but it's all good laugh. I don't. You know, I can make a. You know, I weren't going in the ring thinking, oh, these look good. I look right cool here. Do you know what I mean? And like I said before, I pull it as an Instagram poll as a joke, because Lyndon told me when Lyndon came and did a session up in Sheffield, after his Dex Spellman fight, let to see me and that. And we was at food and he was like, yeah, you should just keep them in. They look wicked, them. He was like, yeah, keep them in. I want to do something mad. And I went, do you reckon? I'll put it on an Instagram poll. That's why the picture was me and Lyndon. And the 52% people voted to keep them. So I'm a man of my word at the end of the day. You know, all we have is our balls in our word. Eh?
I had a bit of a mare with your belt as well after the fight.
Oh yeah, I dropped it. That's why I think they're giving me a new one just out of shot, which I got today.
Yeah.
I'm my third IBF international champion of the international world.
At what stage of your career did you feel like you were ready for a world title?
Probably my debut, to be honest.
Oh, come on.
I'm a big believer in myself.
Yeah, that's fun, but realistically?
No, okay. Realistically, doing the rounds and the performances, I started thinking about stepping up to the world fights after Gallardo, which was the fight I had on the Bois Gorman card.
Okay.
Because one, I wanted to get away from super flyweight, because that kid was basic as hell, but very physically strong. Like, he didn't look like nothing either. He didn't look like no definition to his body, and he was about the same height as me. But he was just like, he was like a grappler. He was like a wrestler. Nobody like grabbed hold of me. I couldn't get him off, and I've never felt like that so much. And that was the fight after I went down to flyweight. And then for me, the plan was beat that Guaneros, have one more kind of certified international gatekeeper fight, you know, someone like a Mourinho or, you know, what, just like, so them levels there, that people have known, fight one of them and then go for a world title. That was my plan, all at flyweight. But then their Superfly, I got ordered, you know, Superfly British, and the fight came up with Marcel, so that kind of chucked me off. But it's always been a dream to win that British, always has been. And now it's a dream to win it outright. I don't know when I'll get the chance to do that. If I'll get the chance to do it, I'm not sure. But I'm not going to vacate. Like, I know a lot of fighters out there sitting there waiting for me to vacate that title. I know that for a fact. Because I've had a few people go, have you vacated your British? I've heard that you're vacating. No. No, I'm vacating it. I'll be a world champion and have to defend against a mandatory 2 weeks later before I vacate that. So that's the message to the rest of the... Come and get it if you want it.
Can you reveal who MTK are talking to in terms of that opponent for December?
Well, I mean, who I've asked them to talk to, and who I've asked them to make, and who I've asked Frank Warren for, and I put in the interview straight after my fight, was Maruti Mifalani, the IBF champion, you know. I mean, I think it makes the most sense. Someone I know personally, spent some time in Ukraine with him, and he's a legend, man. He isn't, not only just as a boxer, but as a person, he's a wicked person, do you know what I mean? And but he's an aged champion now, he's what, 36, 37, around that age mark. Not lost in 10 years. I think his last loss was the Nonito Donaire in his heyday, and he lost by 1 point on a cut after the 5th round. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was like, he's mixed it. He's beaten Casemiro, he beat Tete, stopped them both back to back, beat Mohamed Wasim. Like a serious fighter, let's be real. And I feel like the one thing people would be saying if I get him and beat him would be like, oh, he's old now. But at the end of the day, when he's still world champion IBF and still beating all these fighters, then... But yeah, that's what I personally want. I mean, I've got a good rank with the IBF. I'm thereabouts. It's a MTK versus MTK. I know his opportunities are hard to come by. He's like a world champion journeyman in the sense of he's the away fighter pretty much every time he goes somewhere. You know, he's fought all over in everywhere. And yeah, so we should be able to get him over. It should be very easy to make. I remember he watched me spar the first time against Dalakane, who's WBA at the moment, and he went, "You'll 100% be a world champion." That's what he said to me. And for me, that was, you know, 2 times world champion at a time. That was big. Do you know what I mean? For me, and we spoke and spent a lot of time together. Do you know what I mean? In the same trip that I became good friends with Jay Harris. So yeah, I mean, so that would be for me, like for my own personal storyline. I mean, I don't know how many people care about it, but for me, that would be like a big thing. Do you know what I mean? Having that, because he's someone I look up to. Do you know what I mean? And he's a great fighter. You know, he gave me his time, advice. You know, he told me all stories about what it's like growing up in South Africa, how much he got paid for like big fights, and what he fights for. And I remember he told me he earned his money and he bought 2 cars and he was buzzing with them, and like they were like Toyota Aurises or do you know what I mean? It was like, he's a good guy. Do you know what I mean? He's a good guy, and it's just a shame that he's probably not got the recognition in world boxing that he probably deserves when you really think about it. Like, you know, having them wins against Casimir Tete, lost to Donaire on a cut, which is really, that's kind of like a technicality in the 5th round, losing by 1 point. Do you know what I mean? After they'd lost the first 3 rounds and was coming back. Do you know what I mean? It's like, great fighter, but just like I said, I feel like I'm ready to take on anyone in the world, and I think that would be a great first protocol to that world level introduction. Maybe he's not, most likely, he's probably not the fighter he was 5 years ago. Probably not the same fighter he was 3 years ago. But look at Gonzalez. We see that people don't lose it all too often. Do you know what I mean? They keep it to a certain level, and whilst you're still winning and defending world titles, then you've got to have enough left in the tank for that, eh? No, they don't give them out.
See how that situation develops for December. Quickly talk about your brother. Carl Williams obviously beat Thomas Assomba, and people in boxing know he's a very good fighter, but Charlie's been at world level before, so he shouldn't be overlooking Carl, definitely, but looking to impress, I think, especially at bantamweight, and showcase his skills again. Frank Warren debut as well for your brother.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great fight for Charlie that come up, being as he's been inactive since, you know, the Martinez fight, which was the 31st of August, so that's over a year. So it's like he's literally an inactive fighter. He's had a lot of things going on in the background, like his pattern of his life changing. So it's a good one to get back. He's come with his own ambition. Carl. He's a lad who I've sparred a few times, about 5 or 6 times. Nice lad as well, really nice people. Poor man, all of them down there. I mean, you just see me down there. We're speaking for about 20 minutes there. Like, we helped him out, they'd helped me out for sparring, and I was glad that someone like him got the opportunity, to be honest, for Charlie. But obviously, this is the hurt game, so obviously my brother's going to do the business on the weekend. Even though I've got a lot of time, a lot of respect for Carl. If we're talking in straight boxing terms, I don't think he's got enough to trouble Charlie too much. But I might have eaten my words by Saturday night, but I just don't think so. And I think Charlie's a fighter that when he's happy, he is very dangerous. I know that's a big cliche, but you see me, I can have the biggest madnesses going on around the boxing world, outside of the boxing world in my personal life. And for my last fight, I definitely did have that. There's a lot of things going on that people don't know about just yet. They'll find out soon, maybe. I had a few madnesses there, and like some of my best performances have been that way, because I find my peace in boxing, if that makes sense. Well, Charlie's if he's happy going into the gym, he's happy, trains in the gym. If he's happy going into the ring, he trains and fights happy. Do you know what I mean? So he's in a great place, and physically you'll see the conditioning he's in on the scales tomorrow now, isn't it? He's done this weight very, very well. I mean, bantamweight first time, but he's probably always got the body frame to be more of a natural bantamweight. Even super bantamweight, he's like 5'7". Do you know what I mean? He's not like a short ass flyweight. Do you know what I mean? He used to have to kill himself to get down there. Like, his body was always shredded to bits, but now he's been able to bulk a little bit more whilst keeping his, athletic. And I think he just developed in strength and everything, to be honest. I haven't really done too much sparring from this one. I think I did 1 or 2 to help me out more than anything. But then obviously since my fight, my ankle's been gone for the last 3 weeks, so that's one thing. And I think my style don't really suit too much. I can't tell you what he's been feeling like in the ring, but he's been on fire by all accounts.
Well, it comes through Saturday night, and potentially you two could be fighting for world titles by the end of the year. We'll see how that plays out. But again, you could be on the same bill doing it. I know Frank spoke about that before. That would be special. A pair of you fighting for world titles on the same bill.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely. It'd be nice if we both win. If we get our asses handed to us.
That would be special, no?
But yeah, it's just... That comes with its own logistical problems, I mean, 2 world title camps requires a lot of attention, getting appropriate sparring for both of them. We train with the same trainer. Even fight night, I mean, one of us is going to have to go. Well, if say this is the case, one like we're meant to be the sort of the two top in the bill. It wouldn't be able to work like that because obviously we need one. Then we need Grant to be in a change from the other one, and then you know what I mean. So it'd have to get reshuffled around. I mean, but definitely it's something that we've always wanted to do. And before now, it's always seemed like just like a pipe dream. And I feel like we haven't come out. Charlie signed with Frank and us going, we want more to that. It's something that Frank himself seems to be pushing more than anyone. More than me, Charlie, more than MTK, and that's good. That's I think that shows his belief, and I feel like Frank's happy that he's got the pair of us on books now. I mean, I know ever since I've really come on the scene, ever since Frank really knew my name, what was that, about 5 fights into my contract, when he really started taking notice. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. Like, when Frank's got 100 fighters, does he know too much about all the ones doing 4-rounders? Probably not. Do you know what I mean? And let's be real, he's a Hall of Fame. But as soon as he took notice of me and I became a good relationship with him, and he's done right by me, and he's pushed me forward towards all them TV shows that I've been shutting down. You know what I mean? And it's been back-to-back title fights. I think Richie Woodall might have said, I've had 7 back-to-back title fights all on TV. Okay. My last 7 fights, and I've had injuries I've had to recover from. But see me, I've got ambition. I don't feel like I need, give me a couple of easy 6-8 rounders and then give me a camp. That's what I need. Give me 10 weeks. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'll fight anyone in the world. And I mean that as long as everything balanced, as long as the risk and the reward is weighed up in the right. I'll fight anyone. There's not a single person, flyweight, super flyweight, that I won't fight right now.
You call that Martinez, so.
Yeah, and he's probably one of the bigger fish at the moment. But I see what Jay, how Jay got certain things out of him, and I see a lot there to work with. I feel like what he's good at, he's exceptional at. But I feel the areas he lacks are very exploitable. And I feel Selby showed that at times. I feel even in brief times Charlie did. He seems very easy to hit from long range because he thinks about the shots he throws, and he throws them too far up. I've said it multiple times again. And I feel like if one person in the world, it's a bad idea to telegraph your big haymakers against, it's probably me, because I think my reactions are up there. Like my sort of like fight or flight reactions are up there with the best in the world. And what I mean by that is, if something goes on, I instinctively move out of the way. And sometimes I make a miss by just that much. And David Hay, I like David Hay after my fight. His comment basically was like, people might think my defence is very loose and it will be quite easy to tag and land clean. It's like, when you really, really look into it, most of the shots I get caught with are scuffing. They're on the way out. They'll be like glimpsing, like I very rarely get caught with a proper clean that was a big shot.
That's why I said you're Tyson-esque.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But to do that for 12 rounds is very hard. But I just really, really don't like getting hit. Not the best thing for a boxer, is it? I really like getting hit. I wish I could be one of them fighters.
But I can see why people say that, because sometimes it looks like you fight dangerously, if that makes sense. Because you're right, you do it on reaction. It feels like sometimes you're already open.
But do you know what the maddest thing is? When I've got my hands down by my waist, that's probably when I'm most switched on defensively, because I'm not really looking to punch. So when my hands are up is when I get caught. No, honestly, when my hands are up, I get caught. But I feel like with that as well, I like having my hands down, because I like giving them the idea that they've got the opportunity to land. Because that's when they try and take it. It's like giving them a little bit of hope to snatch it away. It's like putting bait out in front of them, offering my chin up. I'll stay in range and one step out, one step. I don't really like being the other side of the ring from them. I'm not always trying to get away from them. One step we go, one step we go. If I go one, you go one. I go one, you go one. Then we'll keep doing that. And it would be like a moving load. But you're just moving with me. If you stop, then I stop. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're dictating terms all the time.
Yeah. And then you're not tiring me out. That's why 12 rounds go by, I'm not out of breath. There's never been a round you think, you're starting to tire here. 12th round comes, I'm still flying, I'm still moving, even with bad ankle for the last 2 rounds, like my last fight. And honestly, that hurt a hell of a lot. Like, I felt like I snapped it again. But I went to the A&E the next day and there was like no bone damage, just ligaments, which was the same as before. So.
Alright, well, best of luck to your brother this Saturday night on BT Sport, and we'll see how the situation with your potential world title fight plays out, alright? Sonny, thanks.
Cheers, mate.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.